Y'all ready for this? Eesh, 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 eesh. What the fuck? Anyway, hey guys, what's up? Angry Johnny here, back with you at Thoth Trades. I don't want to go over real quick. I want to explain something about Wicks and where we are in the markets right now. We've had a lot of consolidation back and forth crap. As you can see, the market's been pretty shitty lately. But as you can see, as you remember before some of the older videos when I told you about, this is the day that Donald Trump spoke, created this high. This is a news high. And as I said before, we usually tend to come back to those news highs. And you can see right here, we did. We actually came back to this news high, and we've taken it out. And then we kind of like just went a little bit lower. So to me, after they've taken this news high and rejected lower, we could see a little bit of a retracement lower, and then we might get a pump higher. Really hard to tell. You usually got to wait until the day of. I don't really know the future because what I look like, JR trading trades and stuff, huh? Look at my crystal balls. Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking, and this is on XRP. This is on the daily chart. So what I want to also show you is on this news candle here. You see this wick? Wicks are also considered as a inefficiency or a lack in trading, a gap kind of, if you will. So usually once the market, like this candle, as you see, it came up and this candle just wicked it, but it didn't come up and it didn't close a full bar candle above this. You notice that? Above this right here, we just wicked it and then we came back down. And if you take your cursor and you take your crosshair, that's what this thing is, and you set it on the bodies of the candles, if you look across to your left at this news candle, right, set it like that, and what you can see is we've ran up, the bodies respected this wick. See how they didn't close and they kind of just went, a little quarter up, maybe, you could, half maybe. Even all of these candles did the same thing. So usually that's kind of like a resistance point. So we could see this thing drop down and then blast through it, or we could see this candle come up and do the same into this wick. This is a large wick also. We could see it come up into that area right here if you look straight up to that and then go across where I'm putting this thing. You know what I'll do? I'll just put a no, I'm sorry about that. Not that. Let's just put this. And if we go to kind of like in the midpoint of this, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking here. See how that's at a midpoint? See how these wicks are hitting that midpoint of that wick? Because that's kind of like an inefficiency, this wick right here. We hit it once, hit it twice, and we kept going lower. So we could get a retracement lower, then come back to that. Just have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and jump on over to our BTC. So we're on BTC daily chart, as you can see up there. And if you notice on Bitcoin, we haven't taken out that news high yet. See that? But we have, what we've been doing is the same thing. See how the crosshair is coming into this wick, into the midpoint of that? See that? So that's kind of showing like a resistance area, if you want to call it resistance, whatever you will. So we might see a retracement down lower, maybe to take out this candle's low, this candle's low. And as you can see, we have two up candles here. So this is another inefficiency we have that we might come back to. But we also could open up in the next couple days and come up here and blast through this news high and take it like we did on XRP, and then maybe roll over after that. You just have to wait and see and watch. There's other signatures you can look for, but basically what I'm trying to explain here in this video is to look at these, when you see these big wicks, to treat them as a gap or inefficiency also that the market will return to. And if they return to the midpoint like these have, it's usually a sign that we're going to drop lower. As you can see on this candle here, how we came up, and all these candles, we came up and hit it to the midpoint, and then we slammed lower. So that's just something to watch for. Let's go ahead and drop on over to the NAS. And see, notice on the NAS, we haven't taken out this news high yet either. So we haven't even came up into the wick of this one. So we could possibly see, and if you notice this too, you see this candle high and this candle's high. I want to point this out. Right here at this H, when I hover over the candle, I want you to look right here at these numbers. So if we look at this high of this candle, which is right here, hover your mouse over the candle you want to look at, the high is 19,229.3. Then let's go to this one. We have a high of 19,231. So we just barely kind of like went over that and took out this candle's high, right? Also, what we can look at as we can look at the close, 19,203, and the close of this candle, 18,372.3. So these are relatively equal highs. So the market could come back up to take this out and then target this news high, or do like we did on some of the other ones and come to the midpoint and roll back over. So we're kind of just in this iffy zone. See how this is just a lot of back and forth stuff? So it's kind of, today we had a nice little retracement down, a little drop, but it's been a really hard last week and week so far. So if you haven't really been in the markets, then that's probably a good thing. So I just wanted to share this with you, and for you to watch these wicks, and when you see the markets respect the midpoint of these big wicks, that's usually an indication. If we come up like this, let me just mark this out real quick. So let's say we come up here. Let me take this magnet off real quick. So if we come up here, let's take this candle. Let's just put it kind of like somewhere in the middle. I know it's not the middle exactly, but if we come up into this area and we start hitting this like we did on those other, on some of the Bitcoin and XRP kind of style, that's usually an indication that that's kind of like a resistance and we're going to roll over. But if we come up to this thing and we blast through this and then we start hanging on the top, that's usually a sign of, like, if you want to call support, for us to shoot for higher prices. So just something to look out for. And if you like this video, thank you. And if you want to see the free course that I'm putting together, I'll let you know one more time, is just send me a message saying that I'm ready to go. I want to get on this, and you will receive the videos for free, because I'm not putting them on YouTube or anywhere else. So, wacka wacka, let's go. Wow.